Hey, it's time. Hey, here we are. Oh, man, the misery. Absolute misery. Although I'm ecstatic to be with all of you. It's the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey. And we've just gotten used to this for the last couple of months, right? It is just another epic horseshit performance. Pardon my French. A Monday night debacle. Like that's the whole word, I think, for this whole season, right? Is debacle. Did not start that way. 4-2 feels like 3 years ago as the Chicago Bears get smoked. They get shut out again, by the way, for the third. What's up, Justin? For the third straight game in the first half. Appreciate you, Pablo. Yeah, Cap and I went live last night. That is a hat tip to Katie. Her idea behind the scenes seems like we might be onto something there. Things are looking a little bleak in Chicago sports. Thanks for this channel that helped get us through, Pablo. Time and time again, man, there's not a day I don't say thank you. So I appreciate that. But yeah, absolutely brutal last night. You know, to get shut out 3 straight times in 3 straight halves of football, 3 straight first halves is, and to look the way they did. I mean, it was better than San Francisco when they had more punts than yards. But come on, Jake says Ryan Poles has 14 wins in 3 years. Not a single player he's drafted has come along to being even the 10th alternate for a Pro Bowl spot. Any franchise worth a damn would fire him at the end of the year. Look, I've been pre Ryan Poles, and Ryan should get another chance and, you know, hire his coach and all of this stuff. I actually don't know. I'm actually kind of coming around to like looking more at who's gotten better, who's the draft, who's he developed. Last night was awful. You look at that draft class and you're thinking, how did we waste a 3rd round pick on the kid who's not even ready to play NFL football? Viso Joe, Bears don't deserve our fandom, our time. The problem is, who does, Joe? I mean, I appreciate your profile pic there. I got water today, by the way, folks, because not quite 100% yet, but getting there. But doing this without water, bad idea. Yeah, Walter Payton. That's about the last time they deserved it. Hey, Randall, good afternoon. Fire everyone. Hey, pretty much. And I think you're talking about all sports, right? Can we bring back Lovey at this point? I mean, just like part of me's like, make it stop. And part of me's like, no, but for real, like, what's he doing? He's available. He is absolutely available. Oh, the Bears are like my hair right now. It's just a mess. Justin, what's up, Guff? Do you think that might have been the worst performance by an offensive lineman? I can't think of his name. Yeah. That's one of the worst debuts that I've ever seen. Amagaji is who you're talking about. Kieran Amagaji. Local kid, Hinsdale. But it was holding 72. Holding 72. False start 72. He almost got Caleb killed on that strip sack. About as bad of a... And what are we running behind him for on 4th down? What are you doing? Can we stop this Thomas Brown? What if he goes 3-2 and you have to keep him? Enough. Like, we are done with that crap. Eric, like I said, ownership needs to change. It doesn't matter who our coach, GM, and the players we have in this team. Ownership needs to change. I know. You can, like, insert that anywhere, really. Insert team here. Uncle Ted. Ashton Genty and Vrabel coming soon. All right, so there's a lot of reports out there that Mike Vrabel's headed to New England, that he is going to be it's pretty much him or bust going to New England, that Gerard Mayo would be a one and done in New England. And if that's the case, if that job is open, Mike Vrabel won 3 Super Bowls with that team. You know for a fact that's where he's headed. With a GM that he lines up with. Is it Dimitrov? I have to look that. I have Donde Está. I can get you the name. Anyway, doesn't really matter because it sounds like Mike Vrabel's going to be off the board soon. Lefty, appreciate you, man. What's up? Randall, why the hell was Kramer not cut this morning? That's what Cap was saying. If you haven't checked out the recap from last night, it is available right now on the channel. It's off and running. Cap was saying the problem, half the problem with this team, half of the problem is there's been no accountability at all. And you got a guy, and Doug Kramer out there, who's been doing this exact position for what, 8 weeks? If not, no, 10, 12, all season. He did it in Indianapolis. You have to report as eligible. It is like football 101. And ABC did a fantastic job last night of capturing the non-check-in when he came in out off the sideline, he just ran right to the huddle, never said a word, didn't even make an attempt to go to a referee. Cap saying, cut him, done. And to be honest with you, why not? It's not like the guy's providing you some kind of Pro Bowl level play. But no, we're going to work on it. We're going to look at the film. Okay? My goodness, man. What's going on here? Gonna have Katie help me with my issues here. But yeah, just absolutely brutal. Jess, what's up? Appreciate you. Thanks for the halftime show. You're welcome. I think we'll keep doing that. If it makes sense, we got to keep doing that. Katie's on to something. I'm convinced that the players are not focused as a group. They need to start demanding perfection for themselves. What players actually improve this season? We've talked about this, Jess. I asked everyone to go up and down the 11 men on offense and defense and tell me which player's been better. I'll hang up and listen for my answer. Exactly. Not one player's gotten better. I mean, Caleb by default, I think, has gotten better. But I'm talking about a guy who's gone from here to here. We've had a lot of this. We've had Jalen Johnson. We've had DJ Moore. We've had Cole Kmet. I think DeAndre Swift, I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. I think DeAndre Swift has been better than people are giving him credit for. The dude's on pace. He's on pace for 997 yards. Like, I don't know if 1,000 yards is what it once was anymore, but like, just to put that in perspective, I don't know how many running backs are going to have 1,000 yards this year. I'm gonna look up right now. I know there's a couple on pace for 2,000. All right, okay. Saquon is on pace for 2,000. All right, so right now there are 6 running backs in football that have 1,000 yards. Okay, 7. My bad. 7 running backs in football have 1,000. You go down to DeAndre Swift, he's at 997. James Cook right above him at 828. So 18 running backs are on pace for 1,000 yards. I guess that puts him right there with league average. I mean, that's fine, but he's going to end up having a not quite the year we want him to, but that's because the offensive line sucks. I hope, but why would you take a first-round pick with a running back, Uncle Ted? This team needs to be focused on one thing and one thing only. The trenches. David, what's up? Are the Bears really going to allow GM Ryan Poles to search the next head coach, draft a top 8 pick in the first round? Insanity. As of right now, yes, but smoke and fire, man. There's been a lot more of that. I feel like Hallis Hall's had a lot of it. Some people that were in the locker room last night, if you look at social media, very clear. It says like the players are basically done. And back to Jess's point. At some point, you got to look in the mirror, right? You got to play for not just the name on the front anymore, but maybe the name on the back too. This is your livelihood. This is your job. Yeah, I know. That's what it feels like, Lefty. I think we all kind of feel like that. David says, the coach, bring back Ditka. Did you guys see Ditka Claus last night when they were scanning the crowd for all the Santa Clauses? And then all of a sudden there's a guy that looked like Artie Lang. Like, it's Santa Claus. It was great. Sit Caleb for the last games. What would be so Bears as he gets hurt because of the Swiss cheese offensive line and is out till mid-year? So Bears, ridiculous. Trade Stevenson. I'm done with that loudmouth. We need a culture change. Start Bagent the rest of the year. So I'm pretty much opposed to this. Cap last night, we talked about this at halftime. He was on board with me. This morning on the radio, I heard him completely flip this around and say, like, he thinks if he were his dad, he'd be throwing a fit and making it hard on the Bears. I don't like that approach either. Like, dad's going to call and tell the Bears, sit my son. I think that's, I don't know. I don't like that approach, but you can't let the Bears ruin this kid. He's seeing ghosts. It's very clear. Like, there's a lot of people that were coming at us last night on halftime, and I was protecting Caleb a little bit, but then when I went back and watched the film, there's definitely times, and they showed it in the third and fourth quarter of the game. Troy Aikman showed, like, look, Rome Odunze wide open, throw it now. Look, right now, Keenan Allen wide open, throw it now. Two things. A, Caleb's set hut seeing ghost. He is seeing ghost, man. The pressure he's getting every single play, he's stepping up and wondering where the hell is he going to get hit from next. That has to change because it is so ingrained in his head that he won't be protected. And number two, when he does throw the damn ball, catch it. Catch the football. It's a lack of pride. It's not just effort. Catch that fourth quarter. Rome, ball hits him right here. Every receiver that's ever lived has been taught, catch it out here. A joke. Fred, hard to watch. Turn the sound off at halftime. I hope you're talking about you turn the sound off of the game. You turn our sound on. Maybe if you turn our sound off, Fred's just completely tuned out. Justin, you're welcome. Randall, thank you, brother. Appreciate that. I'm like 90%. I felt like I was going to be 100 today. A little lingering, you know. 'Tis the season. Nate, it's not Poles, Eberle's, or the McDummies' fault. The fault lies with us. Quit going to games, watching the games, and buying merchandise. Hey, Nate, good luck with that. Good luck with that, man. It's the NFL, dude. Quit going to games. They're going to get paid no matter what. Unfortunately, you stop watching the games. What are you going to do? You're going to watch more football somewhere else. You're still watching the NFL. NFL wins. They aren't going to get it. I saw George. They cut that shot of George last night in like the members only jacket. And like, I'm like wondering like what's going through his head. Is he thinking about like umping the next Little League game he's doing? Or is he actually concerned that this thing's been run so deep into the ground? Thanks, Lefty. Kieran can't Plasbrock. You can't run behind him. He's get terrible. Why isn't he a practice squad player? I just wonder, Greg, why isn't there a player on the practice squad that's more valuable and ready to play than him? As soon as the offensive line started to show, or the offense started to show life, you had the offensive line that forgot to check in. How do you, I know. Jess, think about that. It changed the entire game. You get in right there, the way they went down the field, the way that DeAndre Swift ran the football, boom, it's 13-7. You could hear a pin drop on TV. All right. It's 13-7, and everyone in Minnesota's looking around going, like, there's no way, right? And then the way that they ended up getting the field goal with, well, he forgot to check in, holding number 72, Caleb's getting killed, settle for the field goal. It felt like the game was over right then and there, and I think it was. I think that's when the game ended. Right then, right there. Totally agree. Run the ball. I know. Like, Swift looked good when he did it. He had some holes. He ran hard. Uncle Ted, you scream it into the mountains, dude. I don't think Ashton Jenting's coming here. My son would love that, though. He's still pissed he didn't win the Heisman. I know, right? This is what I'm talking about. I mean, it was a legit topic. It was a topic right here. What if Thomas Brown wins 2 or 3 games? Dude, really? They haven't scored in the first half of Thomas. He's different. He's different at the podium. I think we need a new head coach. I think we need somebody else. How can your grandfather be George House and you know nothing about football? Well, relationships were different back then, Miguel. That's all I can say. I don't know. You know, even though the score wasn't the same, says Pablo, I feel the same as when we lost to the Packers by 50 in Lambeau. I feel like all of these games at this point have run together. It's just part of the same chapter of the same book. It's like, remember those choose your own adventure books? I used to love those as a kid. It's like, if you decide to go into the forest, jump to page 111. If you decide to watch the same shitty football team, jump to page 105. I keep reading page 105 and jumping to the same result every single time. And that keeps leading me to the same thing. Pablo, to your point. Swayze, what's up? The fact that they haven't gotten worse after getting all the draft capital speaks volumes. I know Cap doesn't want a new GM and a head coach, but given this situation, it's definitely the right play. And guys, again, you guys have kind of as a group pulled me closer to this topic. I just didn't think that Poles was worthy of firing. Now, hang on. I think he's you can make the argument because of the draft profile and then the lack of identification in free agency. Like, how he's profiling some of these clowns, I don't know. Like, the talent level is so bad that you think you can just do everything with skill position. This isn't 7-on-7. There's an actual line. You need to stop them. You need to create for you. He's doing neither. I agree, but I think he's going to the Patriots. It sounds like Vrabel, if you read between the lines and read some of the stuff that's out there, that Vrabel could be headed to New England. David Kaplan's watching the show, friend of the program. Right? The recap, my man. Albert Breer on the radio show this morning said Mike Vrabel is the top of the Bears list. All right, so Cap's bringing it back into existence. It's fine. Like, I'm just going to say this. He might be at the top of the Bears list, but if the Patriots are calling for the same job and you have a GM that lines up with you that you trust, where are you going? Huh? Tough to pass on blood, Cap. Tough to pass on blood. What do we got here? I just lost my man, there's a ton of comments coming in today. I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah. Astro, he's been pathetic. Very horrible roster decisions. Oh, Cap is trying to FaceTime me, guys. Hang on for a second. He's calling. At the caption. All right. How about live TV here? Just lost my Hey, can you turn your radio down, first time caller? I mean, it sounds like a guy. Jess, all right, what do you got, Cap? So Albert Breer said yes. That
said he believes that Mike Vrabel is at the top of the Bears list.
But
a culture change. I did not like who he said he might bring with his OC though.
Who?
Josh McDaniels or Tommy Reese.
You were a big Josh McDaniels fan as an offensive coordinator 2 weeks ago when you talked about Bill Belichick.
Because I don't think he's going to leave. Everyone's like, well, you're for your OC's good. He's going to leave. I go, what about Josh McDaniels?
Let me tell you something. Hang on for a second. Cap, how much have I said this now? Any Bears fan that's worried about your offensive coordinator leaving for another head coaching job, will you? And guess what? I will stay on here as long as you want me to today. Figure out the last time the Bears had an assistant coach that left for a head coaching job because he was too good. Tell me who it is. I will sit here all flipping day. This argument is this most stupid. Who? Vic Fangio was fired from the Bears.
He was fired by the Bears.
Vic Fangio did not leave the Bears.
Yeah, he left to take the Broncos job. Then exit right.
But okay, if that's true, I'm not counting that. That's first of all a defensive coach. A, B, Bears. Named assistant coach of the year. He was hired. Okay, you win that one. Chicago was ranked. Okay. First of all, how much did that hurt the Bears? Katie, take over the comments. How much did that How much did that kill the Bears? Come on. Broski, I'm not hungover, dude. I haven't been feeling good. I wish I was hungover. Lou, why couldn't I have been born in a good sports city? 53 years, 12 champions to show for it. 2 teams responsible for 9 of them, 6 of which were in the 90s. I'm adding these little stats. 3 of which were the Blackhawks 15 years ago. And the Cubs won, the White Sox won 20 years ago, and the Cubs won 8. I'm drinking with you, Lou. See, God, I'm a mess. I'm not. Broski's got in my head because he thinks I'm hungover. Cap, what else you got, dude? I'm trying to do a show here.
Okay, I said that to you about what Albert Breer said, and then in terms of Caleb sitting.
Yeah, you flipped. You flipped.
After watching him get, just pounded on consistently, whether it's a sack, a pressure, I thought, okay, if you can't protect him with Karan Amagaji starting again, then guess what? The only marketable thing your shitty franchise has is that you've got this potentially good quarterback. That's what people want to coach. Well, if he blows his shoulder or his ACL, you're effed. So guess what? I'm sitting him.
I don't agree with that, but that's fine. I mean, if we're sitting here sitting our court, we're playing football scared to get hurt. That's you should fold. Yeah. Yes, you are. No, it's not. Okay.
Yes, it is.
You're playing football scared to get hurt.
No.
Yeah.
You're trying to be smart with 3 games left. And if Ben Johnson says, I don't want to coach Caleb Williams, I think I can make a star out of him. Oh, Caleb blew his shoulder because he got hit? That's just stupid. That's just puffing your chest out and being dumb.
I'm going to hang up.
Why?
Because first of all, this is incredibly new television right here. Cap and Guff. I disagree with you wholeheartedly, but that's fine.
Yeah, because we got to be a tough guy and say we're out there playing. Guess what?
No, it doesn't.
Point, you fish or cut bait. You got
no. It has nothing to be about being a tough guy. It has nothing to be about being a tough guy. I need to see. It has nothing to do with that at all. It has nothing to do with that.
You're better than that, Guff. You're smarter than that.
Lou, I've seen Guff hungover. This isn't Guff hungover. Lou, yes, for a brother who knows a brother, I appreciate that. Thanks for catching my back.
Lou, he can't run with us, Lou.
Oh my God. Yeah, Toucan Dan over here. That's this guy here on the phone. I've seen that guy.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Who was in the recap offices last night after 11 and who was back in his car at 5:05 headed down to do TV, radio, and headed back to the recap offices now to interview Jalen Johnson with Mercedes Lewis.
I'm not quite sure if you understand who edited this said video at 11, or should I admit the reason you had to turn around and go back to the studios at 11? No, I'll let that slide because the guy who's got your back is the guy who's talking on the mic right now. I love you, Cap, because I'll be there at 3 o'clock too to make sure everything's right with Mercedes Lewis and Jalen Johnson coming later to the channel. And tonight at 8 o'clock, when Cap's entertaining the masses, again, right here on YouTube, it'll be yours truly making sure his shit looks good with Olin Kreutz and Tom Waddle on Felco Football Recap Live. And also at 8:30, Kevin Byard joins us. Anything else you'd like to put in there, Slick?
I love you.
See you soon, kid. There he is, the great David Kaplan. And there it is at tonight, Felco Football Recap Live. Yes, FaceTime fight. We were going at it, Pablo. Appreciate you, brother. We're brothers, man. Cap and I are brothers. We can go at it like the best of them. Mindy is amazing with Cap's work schedule. Yeah, look at Young throwing in Mindy, a little Mindy prop there. Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. I had to make sure I massaged that last night too, so Cap wouldn't get in trouble. How many Bears have quit this season? There's been some talk of that. I don't know if you guys heard on Cap's show this morning, they played Cole Kmet last night talking about guys need to worry about their own shit. I think that was the exact quote. And if you don't, then that's when you start worrying about other guys' stuff, then you get caught up in it too. And it affects your game. So now you got guys calling out guys without calling them out directly. Captains are not, I don't know, man. 8 captains, mess. David, can you provide us with a reasonable time frame when the pain and suffering of being a Chicago sports fan is going to end? All right. So the question is this: who's closest to winning a championship? Probably the Cubs by default. If you're a Sox fan, jump in the deep end of the pool with me. We'll be down there a while. Blackhawks are the worst team in hockey. The Bulls are mediocre and probably going to trade guys. So it's Cubs. And then if the Bears can I don't know, David. I honestly don't know. I think we should have a recap blowout party to discuss all of this because it's just not good, man. It's just not good. It's not good. And it's like as good as my bet of the day, which we'll get to that in a little bit because it's become. I hope you guys are fading the hell out of me at this point. Ian Cunningham for GM. Why? Well, you got the guy in your building. Like, what are we doing? So we should put Thomas Brown as head coach. Easy question. It will end when the Cubs win the division next year and make a play. God, I tried to make sure that all the blue Kool-Aid was out of the recap office, but he must have got it in his car. So Cap's out there thinking the Cubs are going to go out there and compete with the big boys, but spend like the Pirates. No big deal. I appreciate that. Miguel, I can't wait to hear from Olin. He's what the Bears need, but they're too scared of a man like that. Miguel, you're dead on. You are dead on, my friend. And speaking of which, just a reminder, is it just me or Montez Sweat? He was actually effective. It was good to see him on the field last night. Even when he was offsides, he was getting sacks. But good to see him on the field. I didn't even know he was dressing the last 7 games, Astros. Just a reminder, somebody said they wanted to see Olin. One more time, I will pump this, 8 p.m. tonight. Olin, Tommy, Cap, I'll be there. Kevin Byard will join the guys at 8:30. He's usually pretty good. At this point, I know he's fed up too. I was texting with him this morning about Intercepted, our show with Kevin Byard. So he's coming on with the guys. And, he's not a guy to hold back. He's a 2-time All-Pro. He's been in this league a long time, and he's seen a lot. So, yeah. By the way, Katie wanted to make sure I mentioned, who not just did Cap go to the Recap Studios at 11. There were people editing it and people after midnight, Katie, posting the damn thing. So while Cap was in bed, wiping away the donut crumbs, we were sitting here producing content. But that's what we all do. We get each other's back. A lot of comments coming. We are definitely we're going to be able to get to all of these over here. There's been this one's I'm concerned about. Not concerned, but I've heard multiple Ryan Poles and Roquan Smith comments the last couple of days. I get it. Like Tremaine Edmonds has not been like phenomenal, but like we're going to go back and say it all started with Roquan. Like that's what somebody told me. Like, oh, it all started with Roquan Smith, and I'm like, really? I mean, you could be upset about Roquan, but like I'm more upset with the guys in the trenches and the lack thereof. So David says the Cubs need to make 2 or 3 additions to be in conversation with Dodgers, Padres, Phillies, and Braves. Central up for grabs, pending what the rest of the division does. Cap. Montez is now and has never been an elite pass rusher. He's a good number 2. That's probably true. No, Young, we are not at Hooters this time. Our next Hooters show will be January 7th in Melrose Park. Our last and final Bears recap, or Feldco football recap live from Hooters for this season will come in January. Poles replaced Roquan with Tremaine. Who's awful? No, like I know who Poles replaced Roquan with. I get it, but like this team sucks on the interior line. They have their defensive line sucks. Their offensive line's atrocious. It's the worst in football. That's how the Lions are so good. They built them from the inside out. Right the ship, get a new GM and head coach, as long as you're willing to have somebody make you uncomfortable. And I'm saying that like as a compliment. Let somebody come in and make uncomfortable decisions and let ownership be uncomfortable at times. Stop doing the same crap. No knock on Mr. Shaw. They need an established major league third baseman. Can't just expect to have a star. I'll be in bed. I have to work at 12:50 a.m. All right. Poles has injected the worst cancer on a football team, being soft. Well, part of that comes from accountability and the head coaching. But the problem is it's top down. I totally agree. Like, guys, this team's a mess. I can't believe that this is where we got it. I can't believe 8 straight losses. 8 straight. Speaking of 8 straight losses, we go to the Guff's recap bet of the day. I have lost 6 straight. So if you aren't in fade mode right now, well, then I don't know what to tell you, because have you gone against me the last 6 days? I'm sure. You know, it's funny. NC has not been back around because he'd probably be walking around here puffy chested right about now. All right. So my favorite is that we got bowl games tonight. When I put this line out there this morning, Memphis was -4.5. Okay. They are playing tonight against West Virginia, who has got a new football coach in Rich Rodriguez, not coaching the bowl game, of course. But I'm going Memphis. They're laying 4.5. This thing's up to 6 now. There's been a lot of movement on this game. If you bought it down to 4.5, I'm putting it out there at 4.5. So in fairness, guys, this thing is okay. Here, we're buying it at 128. So it's -4.5 is -128. We are laying the 4.5 with Memphis tonight. We got to get off the damn schneid here. I had Caleb's passing yards over last night thinking, oh, yeah, they'll be playing from behind, which they were. Caleb couldn't stay upright. He finished with 191. Just brutal. Why am I taking Caleb Williams overs? You guys got to be punching me in the face. Anyway, I'm not afraid to show my vulnerability in my 2-7-1 gambling record since doing this on the recap. For now, we're going to bring this thing to a halt. Let's take a look here. At least we have Kyle Tucker for a year. Yep. I understand. You guys are mad about Roquan. I think it's time to be mad about everybody. I don't think Tremaine is the biggest reason the defense is so soft. I really don't. But I understand the being pissed about Roquan Smith. All right. The recap lunch hour comes to a halt for this Tuesday. Just absolutely brutal. Bears are horrific. They're going to lose out. They're going to be 4-13. It's really terrible. Don't forget tonight, Feldco Football Recap Live, 8 o'clock. Cap, Olin, Tommy, Kevin Byer joins the guys at 8:30. We will see you guys tomorrow for another edition, hopefully a more upbeat edition. But these teams suck. So what do we got to talk about? Misery loves company, and that's why I love you guys. Appreciate you. This has been the Recap Lunch Hour. We will see you tomorrow.